Nothing?
Okay.
Yeah? Can we talk? Because I know you're going to get cold.
Yeah, okay. You want to get in my car?
Yeah, I'll get in.
Okay. Let me know my things. I got a little yellow card for Gabriel that he wanted to have a yellow card because Jack had a yellow card and he didn't have a yellow card.
Oh, okay.
So you can take it of him.
Oh. So, some things I want to talk. I wrote some things down so it could help me, like for notes.
Okay.
So bear with me.
Okay.
So when I texted you earlier, that I wanted to talk to you, why all of a sudden that now that Hannah's not here, why did you text me more?
Because at least I can text with you, and she's mad at me all the time and bombarding me, son.
But why is she mad?
Well, because she wants me to accept something that I did not do. The things that I done, I have accepted. And
Okay. Then what is it?
When I apologize, I really mean it. I'm not faking. She doesn't believe nor trust. So how do I convince? I don't know how to convince.
Okay. Well, then since you want to, I dropped the car. It's okay. I wrote that down too about that one. So you said that. Hold on. Where did I put it? Oh, so what is it that we are accusing you of? Because you just said. So what is it that we're accusing you of that you think you didn't do?
Well, she's bringing things from the time that we met.
Okay.
And.
Like what?
That I didn't like her. That I wanted to spend time with her when I went and you were at the military base. And you had a period of time only to be off.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there. But I dropped you off, remember?
Yeah, but you didn't want that. That's the issue. It's not that I didn't go, because I clearly did, right? And you were there, and so was she. So, it was that you didn't want me to spend time with her.
That was not my call. That was your decision to do.
That's not what I said. I said that you did not want me to spend time with her.
No, I didn't tell you not to spend time
with her. I didn't say that.
Well,
you told me that you didn't want me to spend time with her.
I did tell you that?
No, listen, I'm saying that you didn't say that. I am saying that you did not want me to spend time with her, that you wanted me to spend that week with you. And it shows based on your actions and how it went. I didn't say that you were talking and that you said, "Oh, Joe, I don't want you to spend time with Hannah." I know that didn't happen, and I'm not saying that you said that because it didn't happen.
No, son, I have respect your decisions.
Well, I know you.
Even like with the military, that I wasn't agree on you doing it. That one I did voice my opinion, but I didn't voice my opinion telling you, hey, don't spend time with her.
But I'm telling you that that's not what I'm saying. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say, Ma, you said for me not to hang out with Hannah. I didn't say that. And that didn't happen.
So then what am I accused?
That you didn't want that.
It's not that I didn't want that. I went to see you, spend time with you, but then, you back then your girlfriend.
Right. But at the time, this is what I'm trying to tell you. At the time, you didn't want me to spend my last day with Hannah.
No, I spent it with you guys. We went out to dinner.
That's a different time.
Oh.
I know the time that you're talking about at the restaurant, but this is a different time. You dropped me off. And I can tell you that at the time, you didn't want me to do that because you wanted me to stay with you because you flew over and I was about to get in trouble, which I did. Believe me, I remember that very clearly of what happened to me. But this is what I'm trying to tell you at the time. Does that make sense?
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
So do you agree with that?
This is what I said. I'm not agree because
okay.
I didn't I didn't do it. I didn't tell you not to. It wasn't my thing, you know. You wanted to be there, then you be there.
Mm-hmm.
I was there. We could spend time, but hey, you got your things. You do your thing, you know.
Well, I understand.
And you did that,
right? Yes, I understand.
Then where is the problem?
The problem was that you didn't want that. You say that you respect my decision, but which I ended up doing it anyways. But the thing is that you didn't like it. It doesn't matter that you let me do it or not. You didn't like it. I know that you didn't like it.
I honestly, son, don't specifically recall to say, you know, I don't like that. You
Well,
know,
I didn't say that you said anything, Ma.
No.
Because you can do something and not like it. Correct?
Well, certain things I could.
Exactly. So that falls under that. Because, yes, you let it happen. You let me, right, make my own decisions, whatever. But I know for a fact that you didn't like it. I know that you didn't. You can say that you don't recall or whatever. But I know because I was there and I remembered that you didn't like that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense why you're telling me.
So, what else do you think that we have accused of that you think that you're not guilty of?
You know, son, one of the things that I know, the things that had happened, and I explained that to Hannah before. We talked about it, and then I leave it behind. I don't look to it anymore. I don't think
I
of
know
it.
you don't, and to be honest, that's part of the issue. But keep going.
Because then you bring in everything back and back, and you cannot move forward when you're looking in the back. You can't, you know, I am how I am, but that doesn't mean I am a bad person. I respect what you do, you know. What else is there for me to be guilty?
Well, but that's
I understand the parenting thing. You know, I'm not agree on the yelling and screaming, and I voice my opinion. But I backed off. It's best not to say anything, and I backed off.
Okay. So that's. I don't think you really answered my question. Let me word it, because you said that. So the parenting thing, right? You just said that, right?
Yes.
That's what you know that you've done, whatever. But you have said in your messages that the rest of the other things that you're not guilty of. Which, well, what is the rest of the other things?
Well, the whole news, like a whole book that she texted me about it, and from the moment
but which one in particular? Like what is it that you were not guilty of?
I didn't read the whole thing, because when I start reading it, honestly, son, I get dizzy. It's way too much for me to process and read and understand and follow through it.
Okay.
All I know is, you know, she's been loved and accepted, okay, and cared for. We have opened the door for all of you.
I know. So, but now this is where let's go back about how you kind of forget things in the past. If it wasn't made right, then it's going to come back. If you don't want to see it or you don't want to acknowledge it, it could be anything. Don't even think about the Hannah thing right now. Anything that you've done that was wrong and you just forget about it, it will come back. That's just the law of the universe. That's just how things work. So when you pretend it's not there, or you don't see it, or you ignore it, that doesn't mean that it's not back. So now let's come back to the whole thing with Hannah, and because I really see it now more than I have in recent years, because it's well, why would you do that? It doesn't make sense to me. So
Okay, what did I do that you see now that you didn't see before? What did I
do? Well,
it's
all the little things that you've done with Hannah over the years, and
name me some.
I'm getting there. So let's take, for example, the one in the house. Now this is pretty this one's particular because, as you know, Hannah gets sick sometimes, right? She's in the room. She doesn't feel good. I'll take care of it. She's in the room. But a lot of the times, if I'm at work or whatever, she wants to be out. She wants to be included. She'll clean. She'll do things like that. And I remember that one day that she felt good and she wanted to clean and she wanted to organize things and make it very nice. Dad never likes it, but whatever, that's Dad. But she was sitting on the couch because she had just cleaned everything. So she was done, right? I just did everything. It's all nice. The kids are playing. They're outside, whatever. And then I'm in the kitchen. I think I was cooking dinner at the time. And then you came up and something that you said initially was just negative.
About the window?
Yes, the window, right.
Okay.
So I'm just like, you couldn't say something positive first. And then who are you, right? Because you, madre, you have my entire life. You've always been about, change your thoughts, change the way that you're thinking, be positive, do this and that. So I'm just like, I'm so confused because it's like, is this the same person? And then here you come in with your negativity, even if you may think it was something small, right? Oh, it's the window, or this, and even if it's something small, it came in negative. And I didn't do it.
It was the cover that it was in the window that we have put there.
I really don't think it matters.
It did matter because I put it in there and then it was taken down. So I make a point on it because I noticed it. So that was the first thing I noticed.
Right, but just because something was changed doesn't mean that you have to approach it negatively.
Well, that's how it came out from me. So what can I say?
Well, that's terrible. That's what you can say, because it's terrible. Like, somebody tried to do something nice, a positive change, and you come in with the negative. And I have seen that more and more, especially when it has something to do with Hannah. So I really just get confused because I just don't understand. Like, how could this be like this? I just don't get it. I don't understand. And then, you say all these things like, like that you care and accepted and loved and all that. But I really don't see it. Especially because when things get rough in between all of us, you gave up.
Well, I don't like to be yelled at the way I've been yelled at.
Well, believe me.
Been only one
but you have to understand that these are just responses to what you've done.
I don't treat her like that.
I didn't say that you treat her that way, which is why she's treating it back to you. I did not say that. You have never yelled at her, I don't think. So, well, except for that one time when we were all yelling. But my point is that they are responses of what's been going on over the years. And it's just a little bit here and there, little bit. Which is why I was telling you, I'm like, sometimes I'll be like, it's just my ma. Like, just don't even worry about it. It's this, or, it's this, it's that. But for the longest time, it was just me giving excuses for you. Because if you don't treat somebody, well, I'll say properly, then over time, they're going to be getting more and more upset. And that's what's been happening. It's what's been happening. And something that, that really, really bothered me, and this was years ago, and I chose to ignore it. But guess what? It came back. Is when we were, I think I was in the truck, when I still had the truck. We had notified you about what happened to Hannah and the car accident with the baby. And when you said, well, was it planned? I'm just like, what the fuck? Who says that? Who says that? Imagine, because I've yet to get an answer from you or my pa. Please, but think. Imagine if you got into a car accident, pregnant with another baby, because we know that you had issues with this, right? I'm the miracle, right? I made it. Here I am. Imagine, Dad calls Nana and Tata, let him know, hey, Chula got in a car accident, whatever. And then imagine if Nana said, was it planned? You'd be like, what the fuck? What do you mean was it planned? It doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. What matters is the important thing, is that somebody was in a car accident, they were injured, and as a result, while pregnant, lost the pregnancy. That's terrible. And for like the longest time, I made excuses for you. It's just my ma. Like, she was probably just like not thinking right, or she probably had a bad day, and or whatever my excuse was for you at the time. But I'm just like, who says that? My ma? The Christian lady, the positive thinker lady who always tells me to change my thoughts, to always think positively, the one who encourages me to go to yoga because it's good for you, who tells me about Dr. Wayne Dyer, who's great, who gives me his books. This lady said this? Is this the same person? Is this my ma? It makes no sense to me. It makes zero sense to me. Imagine if Nana said that to you. Or to my pa in reference to you. Imagine. How would you feel? It would suck, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I'm sorry I did that.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucked. And it's just like, it is so, I mean, obviously painful. But, you know, I had to keep it together. I had to. For the longest time. Because I remember, after Hannah got home from the hospital, it got really bad again, right? Her pains. So we had to take her back to the emergency room. I had to call off work, which I was treated terrible at work because of the car accident. Because the car accident wasn't just a car accident and then you just move on. There were many ripple effects after the accident that had affected me at work. Because now we're down a car. And that one car defaulted. So I'm like $45,000 in the hole because of car. So now I have to work. But then I can't work because I only have one car. And then now I have to take care of Hannah because she can't take care of the kids because she's physically unable to. Because she was in a car accident. The first week she couldn't walk. I had to carry her up the stairs to take a shower and then carry her back down because, well, that's where you have to live because you can't go up and down the stairs. So I had to do all those things, which I'm glad to because it's my family. But I had to keep it together. And then that one night we went back to the hospital because of her pains, right? I'll never forget it. I called the sergeant. I'll get to that in a second. I talked to the sergeant. I'll get to that in a second. I remember getting to the hospital, yeah. And then I drop Hannah off. And then I get the phone call to come pick her up. And then I pick her up. And she's obviously very upset. She's in tears because baby's gone. So now I have crying Hannah, crying Brielle, crying Jack, and crying Gabriel. There's no more baby. It's gone. I don't think anybody knows what that feels like. I don't think anybody does. Honestly. And then here I am in the driver's seat. It's okay. It'll be fine. You know, I missed the baby too. Everything's going to be fine. The entire drive back to the house. The entire drive back. I don't think anybody knows what that's like. And even if I explain it to them, like here I am trying to explain it to you, they still don't understand. Because it is just one of those things that you just can't grasp. No matter how much detail I try to give to you, nobody will get it. Nobody. Unless you were there in the car at that time, you won't understand. And now that was over, right? And then we call you because guess what? At the time, we used to call all the time. Every day, maybe, if I remember correctly. I don't really remember. But here we are trying to share with you something because here we are thinking that we were a family, right? All of us. And then you tell us that. I remember looking at my phone like, did I just call my mom? Like, is this... Hello? I don't understand. I don't get it. And obviously, you know, yeah, my baby, of course, right? But I don't know this because I'm not a woman, okay? But I don't know what this feels like when there's something there. Because the only thing I feel is food. So I don't know what's going on here. But I can imagine that it's something pretty powerful. And the way that you said that and said it at all, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. And then obviously it affects us till this day, you know, especially recently because I'm sure Hannah told you about it within the last few days. But who says that? Who says that? Then why? Why would you say that to me? To us, to her? Why would you say that?
I'm sorry, son. I didn't think. I didn't stop and think. It just came the thought and I let
But why would you have that thought?
I have no idea, son. I'm sorry I did that. I'm sorry I answered that way. Okay? I'm sorry for the pain that I have caused. I can't take it back. I can't go back.
No, you can't. But you see how you are right now? Sincere. You know, you're looking at me in the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like this, what you're doing right now, this is what's owed to Hannah. Because those things that you've talked about, that's in the past, you say you're sorry, oh, it's in the past, and then now it's back up here again. I feel like you're not having these kind of moments with those certain types of things with Hannah. Because a lot of the wrongdoing things have been personal attacks towards Hannah, right? Not physical, obviously didn't hit her, right? But I feel like these moments right here, I think they should be done with Hannah. Because look how it's affecting her. And it's true. Look, it's just me and you in the car, right? There's nobody here. She's not like how she was, right? The last few times we've had talks, she's never like that. Ever. Yeah, we yell at the kids sometimes, you know, make sure you pick up your toys, do your schoolwork, quit hitting your sister or whatever. But she's never like that. She's never like that. And it's only getting worse because the wrongs that were done in the past aren't being righted. Does that make sense? So this is why these things are happening. And this is why I'm telling you, like, with all these talks, like, I feel like you gave up because you left. You don't even live at the house anymore. You've been gone since September of last year. Where did you go?
I can't be in, I did say I cannot be in a house where there's strife, where there's, and when I sincerely, and I really mean it, when I said I am sorry, I really mean it. She won't believe me. She does not to believe.
Of course not.
Then how do we pass that and make things moving forward if it's gonna continue?
Yeah, I think you need to work on your sincerity. I think.
How do you do that when you?
Well, I mean, it's pretty easy to do that, you know, because you really need. I feel like you are just saying sorry for it to be done, so you can throw it and be done with it. Just like what you just said a few minutes ago. Oh, it happened in the past. It's in the back now, right? So the way I see it is that sometimes that you are saying sorry just so you can. And be done with it and move forward.
No, that's your way to think, and that's
but that's what I see, because you even just confirmed it to me. Yes, because you just said a few minutes ago that it's in the past. You forget about it. But that's what the issue is because when you put something in the past and it wasn't fixed, it will come back. And that's what's happening. All these things that are happening, they're not new. Excuse me. They are reactions to things that have been wrong in the past. Look at the text messages. Oh, Angeles, you did this to me today. No, you're not going to see a single message like that. Why? Because they're all referencing things from the past.
But we did talk about the past before.
Yes, it was talked about, but it wasn't righted. And now that I think about it too, you said this, right? Unless somebody stole your phone and put a message in for you, you said that you were going to look for a therapist, right?
Yes.
Okay, so why hasn't that happened?
Well, how do you know it hasn't happened?
Because I haven't heard anything about an appointment.
Well, it's coming up this week.
This week?
Well, son, it's been holidays.
No, I'm not. That's not what I'm talking about. Because I assume this appointment that you're talking about is just going to be you, right?
I don't know. I'm waiting for the call. I have to wait for a process with the insurance. Yes, I have to wait for the process of insurance. And I have to pay a premium for it too. Oh
no. A small price to pay to get everything back where you are.
You're already criticizing me.
I'm not criticizing you. I'm telling you how it is.
Well, I'm telling you it's the process to do things. It's not just...
So, fine. Let's have it your way. It's a process. That's fine. Where in this process is Hannah going to these appointments with you?
I don't know. When I get the call,
do you now?
I will.
Do you have what's it called? Family therapy, right? Is that what this is?
Yes. It's a psychologist.
I'm sure it's a psychologist because that's therapy. But what I'm saying is this family therapy. Is this going to be the type of appointment where Hannah can be here with you to have this therapy session with a psychologist?
Yes, I will be asking for that and when that will be available. And then once I have the day and time, I will tell you.
Okay.
I will go through the process. I don't know.
All right. Hold on, there was something else I wanted to tell you. Oh, yeah. So this was a pretty big one. And this is probably one of your last messages. Why would you send a message about Hannah's past and put it in her face like that?
I said about unforgiveness.
That you put all of her past experiences, life, trauma, everything, and you threw it right back at her.
I said all the pain that she has going through. All her pains. Yeah. It has also a lot to do with unforgiveness. If she doesn't forgive, she cannot move forward.
Yes, she can. And she does all the time. But the things with you are very particular. And then that message, that was another thing I can't believe that you said. Why would you say that to somebody?
Because I'm telling her what I'm thinking. That's what I'm telling her. All the pain that she has. She has her pains. Her emotional pains.
Well, everybody does, but you have to understand what's happening in this moment in time, right? The pelo, if that's what you want to call it, with me, you, and Hannah, isn't because of what happened in her past with other people. It's what's happening with you. She is mad at you because of the things that you've done. She's not mad because of somebody else did to her 20 years ago. The issue isn't her past or the people associated with her past. The issues, you can even look at the messages. They're all in reference to you. She's not saying like, oh, I'm mad at this person who did this to me 20 years ago and now I'm taking it out on you, Angeles. No, that's not what those messages are. You say that they're too much for you. Fine. Take your time and read them slowly. And then you'll see what she's upset about. How do I know? Because it's there. It's all there. It's all there. Yeah, it's pretty ugly. Yeah, it's ugly. But everything that you need to know is right there. She's not mad because of somebody else or because of something that happened to her. It's all what's happening between the three of us. It's all in there. All of it is. And when you... How do I put this? I don't know how to make it any clearer. It's all there. What does that mean?
Well, I am listening. That means I am listening.
Well, then what? Then what's been going on with the messages? Then are you not seeing them?
I see them some, but I don't read them all of it. When she's really good writer. When she texts like a book, it's just overwhelming.
Yeah, she's gonna write a book someday. She is. I'm telling you that. That's what's gonna happen. Is that she's gonna write a book. But regardless of what she is doing, the thing is, believe it or not, is that she wants to fix this. She doesn't want to live like this.
Well, me neither, son. But believe it or not, I'm not gonna go to the house where the heated conversation and the yelling and all that. It's just.
Oh, believe me, I don't like them either. But this is where, we know you're out. You've been out for months now,
well,
and it affects the kids.
My heart breaks, son.
My heart breaks that all of this is happening. It's one thing for the adults, right? Hmm. If there's an issue, well, then guess what? I'm not talking to you ever again. You're done. But then it's a little bit more complicated because, for one, we all live together. And for two, there's kids involved. They talk. Still. And it's like, We need to have this issue fixed because it's been going on for too long. Way too long. And for years, at least since we moved here, right, I have tried to talk to you. I have, because in many ways, me talking to you, sitting you down, hey, Ma, hey, give me a second of your time, this, that, whatever. This was me really trying to prevent what's happening right now. I don't know if you see that or if you saw it at the time, but that was me trying to prevent this. This all came to a big, big point, and it was never supposed to. Ever. But there's some things that, well, I can't change, right? I can't force you to do anything, right? And I can't say sorry for you, and I can't keep covering for you, because up until, a couple years ago, I was like that baby thing I just told you about. That was a big one. I'm sure there was little ones in between, but that was a big one where I was like, that's my mom. I totally covered for you. Totally covered for you. And I shouldn't have, but I did. But, whatever. That's in the past. That and many other things need to be fixed. I'm very happy that you're telling me that this appointment process is going, because maybe that'll fix this. And even then, another thing that you probably shouldn't have said is that in reference to Daniela and how she was right. It's like, what the fuck, Ma? Why did it take Daniela, someone that we barely see or talk to, for you to be like, oh, maybe she's right? What about me? What about me? I've been telling you this for years. Am I not a credible source of information? What about me? Your son. I've been telling you this forever. It takes you seeing the message from somebody else that now somebody else knows the issues that we're having for you to be like, oh, maybe they're right. What? That's almost funny. That's almost really funny.
Because I didn't consider to see a therapist, to be
honest. It doesn't matter. You didn't consider me. You clearly didn't think that I was in the right, or that if I could be any source of real, credible information.
That has nothing to do with
that's exactly what it has to do with this. Because if I would have told you years ago, hey, maybe you shouldn't have done these things, or hey, maybe you should say sorry for this because Hannah didn't like it, or maybe this, maybe that, whatever it may be, it came from me. But you chose to ignore it, or not listen, or lie, or whatever. But it took somebody else telling you that someone else, Daniela, knows, for you to be like, oh, maybe Daniela's right.
But wait, maybe Daniela's right. What I meant, it was because of this psychologist thing, not because of the facts or whatever she knows or may not know. I didn't consider the psychologist thing until.
Well, let's look at the message, because you said this, right? Not me. Oh my goodness, sorry, excuse me. But you said that she was right, and not just. What about me? That's so crazy, because I've been telling you this forever.
Would Hannah be open to have maybe the church pastor? Maybe not, huh?
What?
The church pastor too. No, never mind. I gotta be careful what I say. It's just me and you in here. So if have her open to what? Do you want him to come to the house and do a prayer? That's not happening. No, I didn't say a prayer, a conversation. I understand what you're saying. Don't take me wrong, please. Don't take me wrong, because everything that I said, it comes wrong, it comes bad, and it's like, wait. I I don't say things to be in the wrong, you know.
Well, but that's the thing, is because like you said, like, okay, sorry, this is, okay, hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's go back real quick. You said with the whole, like, with your church person, right? Unfortunately, and this is just my opinion, but I think bringing, what's this guy's name? Church, what's his name? Kevin, Daniel, David, Scott. I don't know where I got those fucking names from. Sorry. Okay, Scott. All right, so let's take Scott, right? We put him in the middle of this. Okay. Unfortunately for you, putting Scott in the middle of this, or having a sit down with Scott, more than likely is going to go south. And that's only because he is, like many others, is going to be blinded by his faith. And he's going to use the word or other things religious based to try to fix this. For example, he's probably going to be like, well, maybe we should pray about this. Or he'll go on and on about a scripture about forgiveness. So, and it will never actually fix the root of the problem, because that's what's the issue right now. It's not the surface. The surface is over. You said you were sorry and you left it behind. You threw it in the back. That was the surface. It's over now. That issue now has come back. So now it's the root. It's below the ground. That's what the issue is, right? It's like,
okay. So how do I fix? How do I fix what I already done? For instance, the comment about what's the baby plan.
That one, I don't even know. I choose not to think about it because it only affects me negatively. But that it still does affect me, because it really just blows my mind. Like, really, it really does, because I just don't understand. Like, it really confuses me, because there was a time, I remember, this was 2007, I think, 2007. You're working in real estate. Let's just put it that way. Mm-hmm. So it was that. There was something that you showed me, and it was called The Secret. Mm-hmm. And that movie has changed my life. If anything, The Secret is what woke me up, because it was bit by bit that has showed me that everything's bullshit. Everything. I'll get to that in a second. I know you look confused. But in the movie The Secret, right? Or not in the movie, Dr. Wayne Dyer. So he was obviously a Christian man, right?
Not that I know.
Exactly.
I think he may became Christian towards the end of his life.
So but that's the thing, is like, there was so many things that you learned and that you appreciated and that you preached outside of your Christian faith. Mm-hmm. So much, a lot. And guess what? Well, you showed that to me.
When you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at change.
So, correct. When you look at change. So, when it comes to the change part, it's like for example, when you were really into yoga, like, there was a time where I think you went like every day. I think you were really open to the idea of something called chakras. The Lord and the word of the Bible says nothing about chakras. Not a single thing. Does it?
Okay.
So, is yoga real? Or is yoga fake?
Well, you do it.
Is it... Oh, excuse me, not yoga. Fuck me. Is it chakras? Are chakras real?
They talk about the energy channels.
The Bible.
No. The yoga.
Okay.
Yoga.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. So, you have put a line in between the two. And now, since you are obviously on the Christian side, what about the chakras? What about the yogas? What about all of that? The Om symbol, that is a Hindu symbol from Hinduism, Los Indios. You see, they even here, look around you. They're all over the place. Mm-hmm. So are they real or no? Or are they wrong?
Well, they that's what they practice. That's what they believe.
But I understand that. But that's not my question. My question is, are they real?
The chakra energies?
Yes. The chakras, the Hinduism, the Indian people, the yoga.
Of course the Indian people is real people like you and I. You know, everybody has their own beliefs, son.
Okay,
I still practice the yoga. I do the exercises.
But then you should know that when it comes to your side of the faith, that something is wrong, that something doesn't look right. You used to tell me all the time when you're in real estate, you have to make sure that the numbers are right. Look at the numbers, metaphorically. Look at the numbers. Look at your Christian side. Look at the yogi side. Look at the numbers. And I promise you that if you look hard enough, you're going to see some inconsistencies. And because there is inconsistencies, there's going to be proof, the more you dig into it, that something isn't right. Now, we've got off topic, but I don't think having Scott brought in is probably a good idea.
Okay. No, this is to the insurance company, the therapist. I'm waiting for the holiday thingy, and I'm supposed to get a phone call this hopefully tomorrow, Monday. Is already the first back to business day, and I'll find out. I'm waiting. I left messages, and they got a hold of me back, and they gave my number away, and I'm supposed to hear from this person. I haven't heard it yet. As soon as I hear it, I will say, I would like a therapy session with Hannah, because this is where we're having the issues in here, and go for the instructions. I gotta wait.
All right, so we'll wait on that. That's gonna be the best way to do it. But let me ask you this: are you gonna be prepared to talk to the therapist, or are you going to be like, oh, I don't know, I don't remember?
No. I'll talk. I suspect that she'll have, I don't know, a script maybe, or questions to ask.
Well, I mean, then maybe you should do that too. Maybe you should write things down, because this is how me and Hannah have been able to get through our lives together, is by writing things down. When somebody does something, we make a little mental note. We keep the receipts. Hannah mentions that in the text messages. I always have receipts. Receipts is like not a piece of paper receipt from the store. Okay, a receipt is proof of what happened between whomever. It's proof. Like, for example, we have proof that you threw Hannah's life trauma in the past back at her face, because you think that just because she came from what was I would consider to be a very harsh childhood, that is why she has no forgiveness. And that's not true at all. Like, at all. I'm telling you, what you are seeing right now is, I'm going to say this again, is in response to what's been happening between you two. Little things here and there. And it's been 7 years. She says that a lot, because it has, from up to when we were dating, up until now, up until recently, up until when you said that message. So this is all just a response. And then, and speaking of, writing things down and to know what happened, do you not talk to Dad about these things? Or does he not care? Or is there like a disconnect between you and Dad? Because I really, really did not like having to square up to my dad physically. I had to physically put myself in front of my dad. I did not like that at all. And I feel like you made me do that because you're not Listen.
I made you do that.
Listen, yes. And I will explain it. And I feel, in this moment in time, I feel that you made me do that because you are not talking to my dad. Because you are the only one that can. I can't tell that man anything. It's just like I was when I was little. He doesn't fucking listen. So, I can't tell him anything. But when we're having issues, like, for example, me and Hannah, we talk all the time. Which is why we're like this. Because we communicate. We communicate everything all the time. We even talk about things, what's going on with you at night. We'll talk, and we're not talking like gossip, like, oh, my mom did this. It's like, no, we like, hey, how do we think? How do we go about this? What is the proper way to do this? Why is this happening? Why do you think she did this? Why do you think she said this? Why do you think, it's very constructive the way that we talk. But I feel that since you're not talking to Dad, he doesn't know what's going on. So all he knows is that, oh, Chula's getting yelled at. Let me just walk out of my room and tell everybody to calm down. It's like, dude, like, you don't understand what's happening, like, at all. You know nothing of what's happening. You don't know the details. And because he doesn't know the details, se mete en medio. Like an idiot. Because now you just put yourself in the middle of the road and the Hannah train is going to run you over. And that's exactly what happened. So I don't know. Like, I'm really not trying to get in the middle of you and Dad, because you guys can do whatever, right? You've been married for who knows how long. It is your pedo between you and Dad. But what I feel like, I had to do what I had to do to my dad because he was misinformed. He was greatly misinformed because he doesn't know he's not up to speed of what's happening. Now, I don't know if it's because you're not telling him or if you are telling him and he just doesn't give a shit. I don't know. But that's what happened, and I feel like that is your fault. 1,000%, I feel like that's your fault. I shouldn't have have done that to my dad. And then I had to explain it to him, like, Dad, how would you feel if this happened to you? And what if somebody said sorry and still did it to you again? And then I had to bring him up to speed in the middle of yelling for him to understand. And even then, I didn't think he believed me anyways, because he still chose to do what he was doing, which I think he was in the super wrong for that. I haven't even seen him yet. He's been home 3 days now. I haven't seen him one time. So again, I don't know why you're not communicating to Dad. Is that true? Are you not communicating to him?
No,
Does he not care?
I do. No, he does care. What do you mean he doesn't care? He does care, but you have to understand, we see things very different than the way you two, both of you see.
Correct, but
we process things very different than the way you two do it. We expect things different than the way you two do it. You guys are, you guys have different mentality than what we do.
I understand that we're different.
And when you tell me that it's my fault, no, you are in control of yourself. And
I didn't matter. You're right. I am in control of myself, but Dad was not in control because, and this is my proof, because he put himself in the middle. And you
still you keep a line in between.
I did keep a line.
Yeah,
I didn't touch him.
You square him.
Yes, I did. I squared him because I'm not going to back down. Because I'm not going to back down because of, here it is, el principio. And regardless of how you see things, unless you are seeing things super wrong, then you are wrong. Does that make sense? Because, listen, if Dad comes up to me and he's trying to take over the situation, right? Like, you don't know what's happening. Because if he knew what was happening, I really don't think he'd be acting this way. So this is where I'm going to say, it's rather you are not telling him everything that's happening, or you are, and he just doesn't care. And he just wants to do things his way. A mi manera. And I'm like, dude, like, your machismo bullshit is not going to save you in this environment. Me and Hannah go on a very simple fact basis. That's it. I didn't square up to my dad because I wanted to fight. I didn't square up to my dad because I don't like him. I didn't square up to my dad because he was doing something that he wasn't supposed to be doing. Actually, that's exactly why I did it. Because he just doesn't know. He doesn't know. There's no way that you can sit here right next to me and tell me that man is fully informed of the situation between all of us. There's no way. Why would he act that way? And then, on top of that, when I tried to explain to him calmly, I don't know if you remember that, to be like, hey, look, this is happening because of this. How would you feel if somebody did this to you, said sorry, then did it again? And then again, and again, and again. He told me that he wouldn't like it. And I'm like, no shit. Of course you wouldn't like it. Nobody would like it.
Well, it seems like everything that I have done and said, it's all wrong.
Kind of. And we'll get there in a second. But to Dad, do you know what he said in his response? Probably not, because Hannah was yelling. But, rightfully so. But, when I told him, like, how would you feel if somebody said sorry and did this to you? And then said sorry, and then did it again. And again, and again, and again. I just said this. He was like, how many times have I told you to respect my house? you mean? That information that he said is so irrelevant, it's not even funny. That proves to me that he doesn't grasp what's happening. There's no way. Especially because the last time Dad came out of his room all mad and all in his bullshit, he was yelling at me that a door that got slammed, that I didn't slam. He's treating me like a little boy. Like if I slammed that shit. No, I didn't. Gabriel did. And I already yelled at him for it. I already took his toy away because he knows he's not supposed to be slamming doors. I don't like it either. Even now, me and Hannah don't like it, right? Because we don't like that. Yes, does it happen? Of course it does. But don't yell at me and mistreat me because you think I did something when I didn't. That was the last time he ever said anything about it. But the doors, to me. Because I got, and even Hannah got mad. Because it's like, I didn't do it. I didn't slam the door. It wasn't me. But you got mad at me and treated me like as if I did do it. And when I tried to explain it to you, respect my house. What do you mean? I'm trying to. And you got mad at me for it. That doesn't make no sense. There's so many things that just make no sense. And it's almost funny. It almost makes me think like I'm in a TV show. There's cameras around me looking at me. And this is a TV show. Because there's just no way that this is real. A lot of these little things shouldn't be happening. Like, at all. So that's, yes, I think it is your fault that I had to do that to Dad. Yes, I'm convinced. Unless you can convince me otherwise, because I'm a rational man. You present me with the facts, show me your receipts, and if the evidence can prove that this is what happened and this is how it is, then I'll believe it. Same thing with Hannah. That's why we're so close. Show me the proof. Like how I just gave you multiple examples, my proof on why Dad was the way that he was during our last conversation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's it. Yes.
So that's why I don't understand. There's so many things I just don't understand. And it shouldn't be like this. It really shouldn't. I have tried so hard to try to keep it all together for years. So hard. Even the times where you'll be doing the dishes, right? You clean the counters and everything. I'll be like, hey, Ma, what's going on? And, I'll try to talk to you. That was really me trying to keep the peace. And for me to try to get you to open your eyes. And, I mean, natural consequence, I guess. It just didn't work out that way. And then it also doesn't help that you said that you thought you had a right to step in. I'm like, dude, you had no right. Zero. Even from like a legal standpoint, you have no right. And then here we are. And then there it goes. And then now this is happening. I didn't want this. I've been saying I didn't want this. I have been saying that for years. I say it every time we have a talk. I didn't want this. Because guess what? I don't want this. At all.
I don't either, son.
Well, that's another thing. It's like, how do you not? Because the proof is, at least was, at the time, that it's all right there. And help me explain something about Dad. Why did that happen? And then even then, if Dad knows the truth and he still decided to do that, then he's in the wrong. Does that make sense? That's why I'm just like, look, dude, I shouldn't have had to have done that. Because that was unnecessary. It was completely unnecessary. And it makes no sense.
We did things when we're mad. We did things very differently than when we are calm.
But that's the thing, is like, because I wasn't mad. I'm just like, are you serious? Like he was
Well, he's tired of all these situations, son.
Okay.
And he tried to, like calm down, like calm down, and you didn't like how he approached it. You didn't think it was appropriate to get in the middle of it, not
But
knowing.
it's not.
Then now you're upset about it, but this is too much. You have to understand it. You have to understand.
What do you mean I have to understand this? You have to understand this. You're still not getting it. What is happening is a reaction to what you have done.
But I have apologized.
Mm-hmm.
I have got out all my timing. Even more so now
Excuse me.
than while I was still there. It was limited for a couple hours only with the kids in the backyard or playing with it.
Okay,
So I don't-
we're talking about the kids. Okay, we have to address Hannah. Because you didn't... Okay, yes, the kids are involved. But the primary issue is Hannah's reactions to your actions. Excuse me. The issue is you with Hannah, not with you and the kids. So this is why this whole therapy thing that's coming up. Thank you again for setting that up. Please keep us posted. But that's why this is important, because clearly you just can't see it, or you don't want to, or whatever the case is. Excuse me. Whatever it is. But just know that even till this day, it may not look like it in these messages, but Hannah is still trying to fix this. Okay? She's trying to fix this. It may seem loud. It may seem abrasive. It may seem all these other things that are only natural. But just know that she's not a bad person. I promise you that. I would not be with somebody who was bad. And two, she doesn't want this either. She wants it fixed, and she wants you to step into it and to fix it, to take the accountability and to lay it all out. Even if it's ugly, like you used to tell me this all the time when I was little. It doesn't matter how ugly the truth is, as long as you stick to the truth, it'll be fine. I remember that. It doesn't matter how ugly it is or how scary the truth is. I remember I used to be, it was this big. You used to tell me that. And then here you are, older, in your 50s, and now you're doing things that you told me as a child not to do. See? It doesn't make sense. It's almost funny. It doesn't make sense. I don't understand. Am I making sense?
I am understanding what you're telling me, okay? I am processing the things that you're telling me that are bad about me, that I didn't see them bad, okay?
Okay. Then we're getting somewhere then.
So, that's where I am. That's where I am.
That's where you are?
Like what the thing with the baby. That's what I am. Okay. And I really am sorry. I really am.
Well, Hannah needs to hear that too.
I know, but we can't talk with Hannah until I get the therapist lined up first. I won't answer anything until I get at least that appointment lined up. Because I don't take the yelling at all no more. That's why I left. And I told you, I left my hometown. 17.
Okay.
Early 18.
Okay.
For the yelling. I'm too old for that. I'm not going to do this.
But the thing is like you're treating Hannah like if she did something wrong.
Well, she's been doing something wrong.
How? What did she do wrong?
What do you mean how? Yelling at me like that and doing all that kind of crap in my bedroom? I don't go to you guys' room.
But listen to me. You clearly haven't been listening this entire time.
I am. It's a reaction on my actions. Okay?
Correct.
But
So don't point the finger at Hannah and say that she's wrong because she's yelling at me, or she did this to my room. It's like, what about everything that was done prior to that? All the things that you think are gone because you said you were sorry and it's now thrown into the back. I told you it's going to come back, and here it is back, and you don't like it. And then now you want to point a finger at Hannah and get mad at Hannah and say that Hannah did this, and Hannah's in my room, and Hannah's yelling. It's all because of what you did first. Don't get mad at her because she's reacting. You did this. You started this. I didn't want this. At all.
I didn't want this either.
Yes, you did. Because you think you can just be a repeat offender for all these things and just say, sorry, I mean it. And then if you think it goes away.
Then how do I solve it then?
You can't just say sorry. You need to give, look, this is going to sound very weird. Just at the very least, because this is something you have to do. At the very least, try to understand this. Don't say sorry. Or excuse me, don't just say sorry. Give an apology. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Okay.
Don't just say, oh, for example, sorry, ma. I'm really sorry. Did you see the difference? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, okay, these are just bananas. Okay. We're talking about a real person. Okay. So this is something that you got to work on, right? I suggest you work on it now instead of waiting to go see a doctor to try to make it right first. Because again, now you're just pushing it off. Now you're putting it on the back burner. Think about it. Read the messages. And actually look and read about the things that she wants you to do. Because believe it or not, in all of the messages, out of all the bullshit that's in there, I read a whole bunch of messages. Inside of the messages is that nitty gritty of what you need to do to fix this. Because we don't want to live this way. And I think this is just me personally, especially because it affects the kids. But you leaving was another bad thing, I think. Because it shows that you gave up. You gave up. So much so where you packed your shit and you left. You left. That is so crazy to me. But then now you're over here like, well, I'm getting yelled at. No shit, you're getting yelled at, ma. Of course you're getting yelled at. But instead of fixing it, you ran away.
No, I did try to fix it. I did explain it to her. I
but
did
you
apologize.
gave up. You tried. You failed. You gave up.
Well, what do you mean? I apologized and then I failed. And then I gotta...
Because first of all, we talked. The conversation that we had, what I would assume, because I don't know when it is that you left, because it was a few days before I realized that you weren't going to come back. Let's take a second about that. My ma, okay, I'm a grown man, okay, so just bear with me. My mom left me. That you should think about what I just said. My mom left me. Because that's how I feel. Yeah, I'm a grown man. I'm going to be 30 in a few months. Holy shit, time flies, huh? But my mom left me. I can say that now. I wish I could never say that. I wish it would never be a thought in my head. But if I were to tell these people right here getting in their car, hey, my mom left me, I wouldn't be telling them a lie. It would be the truth. My mom left me. Because obviously we're family and we're having an issue that affects me as well. Not just Hannah, because of other things prior to what happened, or the kids. It affects all of us. So I can say, my mom left me. The kids could say, my grandma left us. They can say that and they wouldn't be lying. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that? Obviously, I didn't tell them that. I when they ask about you, I'm not like, oh, grandma left us. Of course I didn't say that. That would break their hearts. But it's the truth. You left.
I did.
Yeah, you left.
Yeah, I did.
That's crazy.
No, I'm telling you, I can't live like that.
But it's your fault that it's like this. Don't think that Hannah's the bad guy. She's not. She's just reacting to things that you've done. It's a reaction.
I understand.
It's like, imagine I go into the store and I hit somebody right in the face, right there. And then whenever they get up, depending on how hard I hit them, right? Imagine they get up and they hit me back, and now I'm on the floor and I'm crying. Oh, look what this person did. They hit me. That was a reaction to what I did. So should I point a finger at this person that I hit and tell them that they're the bad guy? Or should I look in the mirror and it was something that I did?
So because I did something wrong.
Not something, multiple things wrong over the course of many years, yes.
Okay, so I deserve to be treated like this.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. Yes. 1,000%. And my proof in that is because your I'm sorries are followed by no change. For the longest time, and this is just for the kids, because there's so many things to pick from. For the kids, this is where you said you had a right. So even if you did say sorry over something that you've done, since you still think that you have a right, you're going to keep doing things your way anyways.
No, see, right there, you're not even believing me anymore.
No, because in this particular example, oh God, excuse me, I shouldn't. Why? Because it is proof. Why? Because I think this was about 2 years ago during the summer, it felt like every 2 weeks we were having a conversation about the kids. I'm sure you remember. And it's like, well, why are these things happening? Mom said sorry. She said she wasn't going to do it again. But then here we are doing it again. And again. And again. And again. And then now here we are, 2025. And the issues are still going. Of course. Of course. How do you expect it to go any other way? Somebody does something wrong and they still continue to do something wrong, they are going to be met with something bad. And this is what's happening to you. And then you're mad about it. So much so that you left. But it's not anybody else's fault but you. This is where it becomes almost funny. Because it's like, it makes no sense. How do you think that that's okay? Or better yet, how do you think that you get to just be all about it and say that it's all bad because of Hannah? Because she's yelling at you, or because you, or whatever. But it's like, you did this first. This is all a reaction. I don't know how to make this any clearer. I've been probably saying this for like an hour by now, but I don't understand. Like I'm so confused because you're my ma, right? You're Angeles Juarez. You look the same. You look like my ma. You act very different from when I remember when I was little. You right when Abuelita got sick and she died, you really changed. A lot. You super changed. I don't know what happened, right? Other than the obvious of you being caretaker full time. But there's a huge change. And I don't know. I don't know. I left it alone, right? You seem to be okay. Sure. But there's a lot. There's just different. And I don't know. Because this is all different. It's just different. I don't know how to say it any clearer. And I don't know what it is too, like with Hannah in particular. You know what I mean? Even if like I didn't marry Hannah and I married someone else, I would still be having this conversation with you probably. Because the common denominator here is the way that you are. Does that make sense? So it doesn't matter if it's Hannah, it could be somebody else. And I would probably have to get to the point to where I'm just like, no, like, what are you doing?
I'm sorry for all this. I really am. I really am. I'm hoping with the therapist I'll be able to address things better for Hannah.
Me too. Because I don't this should not be happening. I didn't want this to happen.
I don't want this to happen either.
Well, man, what do you expect? What do you expect? And it's one thing that if you genuinely, wanted to help, but it's like things could have been done so differently and so better. But just know, Hannah is not the bad guy here. She's not. And we have proof. We have the receipts. We keep everything because of things like this. Because especially like in the military, I didn't do it as much as I should have. But when I was working at the sheriff's office, I kept all my receipts. I still have voicemails from people in high positions that shouldn't be talking to me like how they're talking to me in these voicemails. I'm not going to use them as weapons, but they are proof and they are receipts on how somebody shouldn't be treating other people. I have it. It's a receipt, and it makes me feel good knowing that I know that, for one, it's real, it happened, and I'm not the bad guy, like how they tried to make people out to be. That reminds me what I was telling you, the story about the baby. Yeah, I had to call out of work because I was actually on my way to work when Hannah was bleeding. Right? Blood. So I called him, and I called my sergeant. I'm like, hey, Sarge, my wife, she just had this car accident a few days ago. She's having some, prenatal issues. She's bleeding, and I think she needs to go to the hospital. What should I do? You want to know what he told me? So you're not going to come in tonight? That's what he told me. So you're not going to come in tonight. What is that? What is that? Who talks to somebody that way? That makes no sense to me. Like how many other things don't make sense to me. Why would you say that to somebody? Why would you treat them that way? And if you know that somebody's going through a really hard time personally because of a major life event that just happened to them, why would you make them feel bad for it? Just like what you know in that text message to Hannah. Why would you make her feel bad knowing that she came from a place that wasn't filled with that much love or any at all? Do you see? It's so obscure for somebody to throw that. It makes you feel like you don't care at all. It really makes you feel like you want to dismiss everything and blow it all away just because of what happened to her in the past. Calling her, I know you didn't say it in the message, but you're really calling her crazy. And this is why. I know. This is why. Because since she came from such a harsh background, that everything that she says can't be true. And it can't be valid. Because look for where she came from. You shake your head no, but this is the connection between the two. I didn't say that you said these things. I didn't say that you called her crazy in the text message thread. But what I am saying is that the principle of that is the same. Because, for example, you think that it's all okay because you said sorry. And because that Hannah won't accept what I would feel would be an insincere apology, that you go, well, you came from a place that didn't have much love, so it's you who doesn't want to forgive, not me. That I see. I hope the connection was made. Now I hope you see where that comes from, because that when I saw that message, I was like, "There's no way this is my mom. Is this the right phone number?" I had to check. I had to make sure. I was like, "Is this the right phone number? Are we talking to the same person here?" You say that you see things differently and that you view things differently, you and my pa, and that's fine. Do whatever, but when it comes to all of us, we all need to be on the same page. We all need to be on the same frequency. We all need to be on the same everything, because too much is involved. Too many people are involved. Me, Hannah, you, Dad, Brielle, Jack, Gabriel, Eliana and Sofia, Gaia, Bella, Lorenzo, Peanut Butter, Lucy, Donut, when she was here, Pumpkin and Strudel, the new little ones, Buki even. It affects all of us.
Okay. Okay.
I hope this makes sense. I'm exhausted.
I'm sorry I have created all this. I didn't stop and think and measure my thoughts in what I had shared and how I replied. I'm looking forward to speak with the therapist.
You should be looking forward to whenever it is or wherever it is that you go when you lay down tonight to really think about it. Because don't wait until you have to see a therapist to start thinking on ways to better yourself, to apologize, and to take accountability for Hannah. You should have been doing that. This is more proof that you gave up, because when you ran away, wherever it is that you go, you stopped. I promise you don't think about this. The whole Hannah thing.
Yeah, right.
No, listen to me. I promise you that you don't think about it. Because seriously, because if you think about it, if you were thinking about it, and if you were giving it genuine thought, you would have come up with something better to say that what is it that you said? That you don't want peace, you don't want forgiveness, you didn't come from a place of forgiveness, or whatever chingadera it is that you said. You would have come up with something way better than that. Way better than that. And this issue would have been solved months ago. I think this is my proof. Yet again, you gave up because you ran away, and when you ran away, you put it in the back. The whole Hannah thing, like what's happening right now, back in the back seat. And it'll all just go away. I'll wait for Hannah to calm down and it'll be fine. And I said I was sorry, so it's fine. It doesn't make any sense. This is what I'm telling you. Don't wait to go see the therapist, because you don't have to go see a therapist to reflect on yourself, to think about something.
I don't. But listen, I don't know how to express myself anymore.
That's something you can work on. That's something that you can do. You don't need a therapist for that. You can do that. You can even do that right now when I walk away, because I got to go to the store anyways. When I walk away, you can do it. I do it all the time. I'm always thinking about something all the time. And more often than not, it is for me to try to be better, so I could try to be the best husband I can and to be the best father I can. I'm always trying to think better. I think, right? No shit. But when I first came into the picture with Hannah and the kids, I'm not a bad person, but I'm definitely a much better husband and father than I was then.
Well, you're learning.
Cause exactly.
We are learning.
Well, then there's no excuse on why you can't learn. There's no excuse on why you shouldn't be able to do the same thing. And it shouldn't take 7 years, and it shouldn't take, that's fine, since we got here. It shouldn't take 4 years, because here we are now, 2025, for you to learn. The cycle of learning doesn't stop. So I feel like in that cycle, you should apply yourself to make things better. Yes?
Yes.
That's why I'm telling you, like, there's no excuse. There's zero excuse. Especially because, I would assume, right, wherever it is that you are, that you still go about your daily life. Here you are at the grocery store. I would assume you still work, yes?
Well, yes.
Okay, well, then there you go. So you're still going and carrying on your motions of life there's no reason why some reflection within, looking inside within, shouldn't be occurring. I think it should be. And I think that you should have been doing it. I think so. And I'm not telling you to not do the therapy thing. Still do it. But don't use that as an excuse for you to finally start looking within and to start changing. Because that's not a requirement. Do it now. For what?
For being here. For being
I shouldn't have had to have tracked you down. This is ridiculous. I'm in your car at fucking Safeway. Why am I here right now? I don't even know what time it is. What time is it? It is 10 o'clock. Kids got school in a few hours. Yeah. Here I am talking to you about things that you should already know. You're 26 years older than I am. You have so much more life experience ahead of me. But why am I over here giving you wisdom? I don't understand. And I feel like you've backtracked. Because I just told you that little example you used to give me when I was a little chiquillo. I feel like I'm giving it to you. And I'm just like, what? Didn't you give this to me when I was little? And now here I am older and I'm giving it to you? Why did you go back? You're supposed to go forward.
I'm sorry, son. I really am.
That doesn't answer my question. Like what has changed? What's different with you?
I don't know, son.
Well, that doesn't answer my question either. What has changed? What is different with you?
I don't have a straight answer.
Well, then what's the crooked answer?
That's a good way to say it, huh?
Well,
Crooked,
well,
straight.
give me something. Because that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna tell you what I think. You can agree or disagree. But when Abuelita died, you went down. You went all the way down. And you really became consumed by your Christian faith, I think. That is just me. And I know you haven't looked at any videos or listened to what anything me and Hannah have to say, but what we tell you is truth. It is, and the reason why it's truth, I have to move. The reason why it's truth is because it all comes from a place of proof. You say something, give me the proof, and I will believe it. So, the Bible, the Word, right? You say it is the Word of God, right? The Word of the Lord. Whatever word you want to use to describe the Word is whatever. But you have to realize that the Word is just a book made up of other books, right? You have the book of David, you have the book of Peter, you have the book of whoever, the book of, I don't know, George, whatever. But those are people, right? Mm-hmm. David was a person, right? Mm-hmm. Joseph was a person. Mm-hmm. So, but that's not God, is it? That's David. That's Joseph. That's this dude. That's that dude. they are writing their opinions down. And even then, there has been proof, and well, you're not going to, but please look this up. It's all history. Look in the history. Look back. Don't look at me. Don't listen to what I say. You read. You go back and you look. But the Bible has been changed 1,000,000 times over the years. Why? Did God change his mind? No. Somebody else changed it for their benefit. Let me ask you that. I never understood this. Even as a kid, I didn't want to say anything because I'm a little kid and I don't know anything. But when we were in St. Bernard's, why did we give them money? What? Does God need a new car? Does he need a new clothes? No. And churches, in this country anyways, are non-profit organizations. Why do they need the money? Where does it go? Look at the numbers, Ma.
It's you
So-
enter a subject that, it's very...
I understand, and I understand that you don't know much about it either, and that's fine. But you cannot deny that there is so many inconsistencies and so many interesting coincidences throughout all of it. And then now, here's a good one. And I told you this a few weeks ago, or a couple months ago now, because here we are in January. But the Pope, right? I don't know if it was this Pope or the Pope before him, but he was like, and I wish I had the video I could show you, but he went public, right, and said that, that the heaven is open to the gays. What? What? Because I promise you, your entire life in Mexico, right, way before me, gay is bad, right? Gay is terrible. Gay is, that's how you go to hell. Gay is this, homosexuality, whatever. It's, you don't do that. And then now here we are, El Papa. Oh, it's okay. What? Did God change his mind? No. Guess what? He did that to appease, because the trend now in these modern times is to be gay. That's the cool thing to do. Everybody's gay now. Whatever. So now you're telling me, why would he say that? In my opinion, it's because, guess what? The church, needs to be able to remain in control of other people. Look, these are just my opinions, okay? I'm not a hateful person. I'm not, just because I'm not of, that walk of life or that faith or whatever, I'm not hateful. I don't hate anybody who does. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But to me, in my eyes, with the proof that it was given to me, it's all a lie. And it's been awfully convenient to keep people scared, to keep people and their money. You have broke people coming into these churches being promised eternal life by following the instructions in the Bible, but the Bible's changing. Why are the instructions changing? Why do I have to keep giving you money? And better yet, why do I have to not like other people who call themselves Christians just because they don't go to my church?
No, son, it's not that you don't like other people.
No, it's true. It's true. It's absolutely true. Now, I maybe they don't say that at your church, right? But I'm sure that there's pastors out there, and I'm sure I can send you even videos. Well, you won't watch them anyways. But there's other things where they try to tell you, oh, be weary of other followers in Christ. They say they follow Christ, but they don't follow Christ. They do this. They do that. Listen how they talk. Oh, there's this to the Lord. Even the way that they talk and the way that they communicate the words are meant to keep you... It's to control you. They have people so warped, it's not even funny. It is so crazy. And to think, how they say, oh, Christianity is all about peace and love. No, it's not. Or at least maybe not, maybe it is now. But how do you think Christianity spread? Through love and prayers? No, with swords from Spain. La Azteca, Maya, what happened to them? It's documented. I'm sure there's even museums in Mexico, in the city, Mexico City, where ahí estaba el templo. It's still there. You can't just get rid of the Aztec temple. It doesn't go away. I'm sure there's museums and historical fact that when Spain came to Mexico, if the Aztec people, the Maya, the fucking whoever, if they didn't believe Jesus or the Lord, la Biblia, la palabra de Dios, it's true. There's even historical paintings. They get paint and they draw pictures of our ancestors beheading our other ancestors, all because of that. You can't tell me that it's about peace. It's what do they call it? The Crusades, something like that. It's historical. It's there, but it was all they killed people. They killed people, but let me guess, they prayed. They were sorry for their sins. They put it behind them, and I'm sure it all went away. Right? You don't agree with me. I know you don't, but this is just how I see it. Because it's like that. There's no way. It doesn't make sense. It's changing. It's so convenient that it changes all the time to make it all okay. What? It doesn't make sense. Look at the numbers. It doesn't make sense. And for anybody to follow anything blindly is dangerous. Oh, it's absolutely dangerous. You see them. Sometimes they're over here in these stoplights. They'll have a microphone and a speaker, and they'll hold up a Jesus sign, and they'll be like, pray now and forgiveness. He's coming. Rapture. You even used to tell me, like, hey, you got to stay away from those people. Why? He's a Jesus worshiper just like you, ma. You two are the same, right? Mm-hmm. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes? So you're telling me that crazy dude on the side of the street in a microphone is just like you?
You need to read the gospel, the New Testament.
Stop right there. That's perfect. You just told me that I need to read the gospel and the New Testament. What about the rest of it? What about the Old Testament?
Well, it's still alive. It's still truth.
But how could it be? How? King George? I tried to tell you this months ago. King George, who is he? And why is he a king? I thought Jesus was the King of Kings. Now here's another king a couple hundred years later, 1,500 years later at that. And now we have this guy who calls himself king. And he gets to determine what's in the book. And it's still like that 600 years later? Or excuse me, 500 years later. My math is wrong, sorry. You're telling me 500 years later, this man got to dictate what's in the book, called it the King George Bible because I'm King George. This is my book. I hope you enjoy it. And now you're telling me I got to listen to what he says? I thought the word was supposed to come from the source, not from all these other people, because they're all tainting it. They're all putting their own 2 cents. It's not real. It's not genuine. They put in what they wanted to put in. It's fact. I don't like it either because it's all it has ever done was made other people turn on one another. It's terrible. It's terrible. You got Catholics mad at Protestants. You got Protestants mad at the Baptists. You got the Baptists mad at the Mormons. You got Mormons mad at the Jehovah's. Which one of you are right? It seems to me that you're all wrong. And since you're all wrong, you all hate each other for it. That makes no sense to me. At all. 0 sense. Especially because, and now this is just my personal opinion, because I have experienced people from all over the world. When I was in the military, I met people from Egypt. I met people from Ethiopia. I met people from Russia. I met people from all over the world. And guess what? It's true. They're all mad at each other. And they're all mad at each other because of religion. And now you got Muslims beheading Jews and other Christians just because they're different. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. What was Jesus' real name?
Jesus.
No, Yeshua. That was his real name. Yeshua. That was his real name. And guess what? Did he speak Hebrew?
I don't know, sir.
He also spoke Asranian, because he was from Azria, right? Azrania, what? One of those countries. It's just like, I'm not saying that he's not real, Ma. He was real. He existed. He was a person of great influence. It was a thing. But since something great happened, the people behind him, not literally like the disciples, people that came after him through time have manipulated it and tried to use his existence to glorify it and to change it and to control it. This is just my opinion. I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm just giving you my 2 cents. And that's why I think it's all bullshit. Because it is. And Hannah completely agrees with me. It's just a manipulation tool. And to have anybody, how do you think those things happened all those years ago when Spain came to Mexico? What do you think those people were told? Hey, I need you to take this sword and I need you to go cut down all these people because the Lord said so. And then there you go with your sword. The Lord Jesus told me I have to kill you if you don't believe him. What? That makes no sense.
I don't know the history like
that.
I
know you don't, and I'm not expecting you to. But it's like, because obviously your faith, that's fine. But there's no way you have me convinced that is the right way. There's no way. And then guess what? Now you're telling me that, we just got to forgive them and everything will be fine. Like if nothing ever happened. What? And I can't tell you, like, and this is just my personal experience, but when I remember, I think this happened in the military, I think. They would ask you, what religion were you? Because in boot camp, they ask you that so you can go to your place of worship. I would say, I'm Catholic. I'm here with the Catholic to go to Catholic mass. I'd get looks from other people that would call themselves Christians. And I'm like, so you're telling me I'm wrong? Because I have a priest and a deacon and you have a guy that calls himself a pastor because he took some online test and says he knows the word of the Lord good enough for him to be able to call himself pastor? That makes no sense. Nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense. Not a single bit of it. I don't understand why I or anybody should be mistreated because of their belief. And mind you, that was my belief. That is not mine anymore. But it's so not fair. And then to assume that it's okay, to assume that it's okay and to continue to do it, even though you fully don't understand anyways, that's a terrible way to live. And then if you are told to stay in this particular area because I said so, or because this is what we're going to talk about today, that is manipulation. That they are manipulating you because they only want you to know what they want you to know. And they only want you to know things that keep you going in this cycle. Listen to me. Out of all of the years that you've listened to K-Love, have you ever heard anything else other than forgiveness, other than worship, other than going to their website to like and to share their things? Anything else? Of course not.
It's a very complex subject, son.
But that's the thing. It shouldn't be. Jesus was here 2,025 years ago. And you're telling me out of these 2,000 years, we haven't been able to figure it out yet? Why not? It's because you haven't been able to experience all of it, because the leaders in it keep you in circles and circles and circles, and they spin you around. Look, this is I have come to these conclusions based on my experiences and based on how I see things with my eyes and how I have been treated in result. So it doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand it. And to blindly agree to it, I think is dangerous, because there is nothing more dangerous on this planet, I think, than a human being, a person who thinks that they're right. Because they will go to great lengths to ensure that they're right. And if they think that they're right on the wrong thing, they will go all the way to ensure that they're right. Hence, all these... Now, I'm not saying that Muslims are bad or Muslim people are bad, their religions, like whatever. But guess what? We have people getting beheaded on TV by Muslims. You hear him going, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar. Praise God, praise Allah, right? So you're telling me because I don't, I get to lose my head? What? I get to lose my head because I don't do it like how you do? Oh, man, that's crazy, Ma. That is crazy. And guess what? The Christians used to do that too. They don't do it anymore, right? Because killing people isn't cool anymore. That's not the trend anymore. Here we are in modern times. They are done differently now. But that is crazy. And you cannot deny that other people get treated badly or mistreated by other people and their beliefs. And that, I believe, is terrible. I feel like everybody should be treated with respect and with dignity and should be able to coexist with one another. Because guess what? There's 8 billion people on this planet, and that number is only getting higher. So you're telling me that you can't act right amongst other people? Then you don't belong. And it's you that's the problem. If you want to have your own beliefs, that's great. But your beliefs should not be hurting other people. And it shouldn't be controlling them. It shouldn't be manipulating from them. It shouldn't be taking their money. It shouldn't be doing any of those things because they're all not right. They're not right. People like Joe Osteen and Joyce Meyer, they have lied to those people that follow them. They have... I can guarantee you, Joyce Meyer can go on Facebook right now. Hey, I need you to find this person and kill them. There will be thousands of people trying to find that person to kill them because they blindly follow somebody like Joyce Meyer or Joel Osteen, and they will go crazy because there's nothing more dangerous than a person who thinks that they're right. You can't deny that. It's crazy.
I understand what you're saying, sir, but it's not all like that.
But it doesn't have to be all like that. Because it is like that at all, it brings everything else into question. Just because one person got found out on a bad thing from their religion doesn't mean that somewhere else isn't wrong. It doesn't mean that. If one thing is wrong out of a collection, then everything could be put into question because that one thing was wrong. It's true. That's just how I see it. It's true.
I don't have all the answers.
I know you don't, and neither do I. But that is what I know so far, is that there's no way that you should be treating people this way. And I know you've experienced this too. You've been to enough Bible studies and to a lot of churches over the years to where you know that there's this feeling, there's this atmosphere, there's this energy that unless you are like this, it's wrong. I know you have. I know you know what that feels like. You can't sit there and tell me that you don't. And I used to get this a lot. Now, I love my Tío Mario, right? But when he opens that Bible, he gets pretty scary. He'll talk about this and the tone and the way he says this. And when you follow the word, I'm telling you, listen to me. Follow the Lord. Believe in it. It's like you're scaring me. The way that you're speaking is scary because you seem like you want to absorb me. You want to take my energy when you speak like this. Follow the Lord. Open the Bible. Do this. I know you know what I'm talking about. It's the way that people speak. It's terrible. I know you know what I'm talking about. I know at some point you have experienced that before. You just reminded me. Remember Padre Francisco in St. Bernard's?
Yeah. Dude,
he used to scare the shit out of me. He used to scream. Do you remember that? I do this, like this. Do you remember? You don't remember? I was little and I'd hold on to your arm because he scared the shit out of me. Why? Why am I scared at church? What? I'm a little boy. Why am I scared? Anything? Answer? Nada?
No. pues I'm listening.
Dude, why am I scared? And why is the priest scaring me?
I guess for the way how they speak.
Exactly. If it was all good and all positive, it would never come that way. No, not me. No, I don't feel comfortable with that. It doesn't feel good to be like that. So I'm not going to have anything to do with that. That's my 2 cents. That's just how I see it, man. And I'm not here to change your mind or anything like that. I just need you to come to the conclusion on your own. I need you to do that thing that I told you about. Look inside yourself, have some reflection, use your mind. You're not stupid. I know you're not stupid, Ma. You do it. You think. Pray on it, if that's what you want to call it. You can do it. Okay? All right, Ma. I'm going to let you go. I need to go to the store.
Thank you, son.
Keep me posted about that appointment, okay?
As soon as I hear something, I will let you know.
All right. I love you.
Nice.
Why? And then I read the question a little bit, and then it was about how you were saying why, up until you were pregnant, you didn't exist, right? I remember you saying that in my head.
Yes, and it's
So
proof.
I was like, right. So I was like, why is it that when I got married and then me and Hannah were having kids, I was like, why were you so mean to her? Why were you so why didn't you like her? Because you didn't like her when I was with her. Because of that one time we were in Georgia, you came to my house and said I'm only with her to mess around with her. And then I was like, why did you treat her this way? Because you didn't like her when we were dating. You didn't like her when I got married. And then now that we're having kids together, it seemed like you wanted her out of the picture and for you to be put in her place. And then she looked at me and she was like, son, I may have acted that way and I'm sorry. And then I'm like, well, how? Why? Why did this happen? And then she was like, did you not like how she does things? Did you what is the source of this? And then she was just like, son, I don't know how or why I was the way that I was, but I know now that it's bad and that I shouldn't have done it, and and that I will continue to be better and to do different. And then now I came to that realization, rather if it's true or not, that here I am and I caught it. I'm getting spun around again.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I was like, nope, I'm walking away. That's why I was only gone 30 minutes. I really only probably spoke to her for about 20.